congratulations on the film.
Thank you so much.
Awesome movie. I think it's fantastic, the idea of bringing Tarzan into a contemporary moment like that. Has nothing to do with the traditional one in a way.
Yes.
Was that something that you really wanted to accomplish?
Yes, I love the fact that this story ultimately took part in a real time, a real context in the Congo in the 1870s, when King Leopold of Belgium was exploiting the colony. And it fascinated me that this fictional character sort of was dropped into that very real world. And that made the project immediately interesting to me. And there's a really wonderful book called King Leopold's Ghost that if people really enjoy the movie and are intrigued by, I mean, fundamentally it's an entertaining summer movie, but it's based on some historical fact. The context is, not Tarzan and Jane, obviously, they're these wonderful fictional characters, but the real context, King Leopold's Ghost is a fascinating read, and I would really recommend it.
I guess you're the perfect person to ask about blockbusters and if there is any secret. Considering that you've done very huge movies, the Harry Potter and all
yes.
that. What's the secret for a blockbuster? And do you think about it when you're working?
Do you know what? I don't think anybody knows what a secret for a blockbuster is. If they did, everybody would make them. And all I know is if you're going into a movie theatre, you want as rich an experience as possible. So I look for projects which are exciting, funny, have some interesting themes, have moments of emotion, sort of a full meal. You know, I want a very rich experience when I go into the theatre. And I think in part that is a secret to making a movie that will reach as many people as possible. It doesn't guarantee it, but I think it helps if you've got lots of different tonalities, textures, depths going on. And what I loved about The Legend of Tarzan when I read it, it surprised me. And it was funny, and it was moving, and it was full of action, and it had a big beating heart right in the middle of it, a really romantic middle section. So for me, it was the full ticket.
How much has technology helped you to show us those beautiful creatures without noticing that they are created in that?
It is amazing.
They're awesome. Yeah.
I know, it's moved on so much. When I was making Harry Potter, the technology was kind of fun, but now it's gone to a whole new level. And we couldn't use real animals, obviously, because they don't take direction. They're very unpredictable, and it would be wrong anyway. It's just fundamentally wrong to exploit animals in any way, shape or form. So we had this wonderful team of animators all over the world who created them, and we based most of the performances, the animals' performances, on real footage of real animals. That was our starting point. So you look at a lion. How does a lion nuzzle someone? So we would look at how animals moved, and that would be our template for the animators.
It was so endearing to see Tarzan.
Yes.
Like meeting the lions and going like this. And,
yeah.
It was so realistic. It's also emotional, the relationship between Tarzan and Jane.
Yeah.
But this was so beautiful between human and beast.
I agree, and I found so many aspects of the story moving. You know, I found the fact that as a little child, he's adopted by this family of apes. They take him in, they protect him, even though he's different to them. They sort of decide to nurture him, protect him in this wild place. And I find that actually moving. I find it moving that he had a mother that was an ape that could sort of protect him and care for him. And so there are elements of the story that I found when I was reading the script and we were making the film that was surprisingly affecting, other than all the action and the landscapes and all of that.
You seem very calm.
Yes.
I can't imagine you getting stressed out, like getting the footage from Gabon and then filming in London. Do you keep your cool always, like right now? In extreme situations?
I meditate. Which I love doing because it calms me right down. And also, I'm making movies, so it's kind of fun. I was working with an actor recently, and we'd had a really busy week, and I said to him, Ezra, I said, you should have a holiday after this picture. And he looked at me and he smiled and he said, David, every day is a holiday. And I feel like that about the films that I make. I'm very lucky and I'm very privileged to be making big movies and for big audiences, and I'm grateful for that. So there's nothing really to get stressed about. You know, it's hard work, but it's kind of fun, and I work with some lovely people. So